Doc, what do you think about the notion of holding parents criminally responsible for their children's behavior?
Yes, everyone, we are back talking about Dr. Cheyenne Bryant yet again. Now, this interaction that she has with Touré in particular, in my opinion, was a look into the personality, the real personality of Miss Cheyenne Bryant.
I'm going to call it like I say it, and I don't care if you get offended. We can handle that outside.
Now, this panel was with Frank Ski and Avera Martin. The title of this video, and fair use to Truth Talks Live, it says, "You are not a doctor. Touré clashes with Cheyenne Bryant." Now, down here in the comment section, Truth Talks Live pinned a comment which we are going to talk about here shortly because it will be relevant. It says, "For those commenting inaccurately, Touré's mic was never muted." That will become relevant soon. Cheyenne's was, but the EP had to step in. The situation was diffused professionally by all parties off camera. There were co-hosts of the show and had tensions building all season. Watch the full episode for context, which I have not been able to find just yet. But they leave a clip here. It says, "It all started here." Here's the clip. We're going to play it right now for context before we get to the interaction, the main interaction that I want to break down. Let's watch this.
What you and everybody are talking about is abuse. You're right. It does not work. It shocks your nervous system. It shuts the child down. They can't be receptive to information. What I'm talking about is discipline. Those are two different things. Popping someone on the hand or telling somebody on the bottom on the leg, that is not abuse. That is called discipline. There's studies that also show, do your research, that gentle parenting is not working. Kids are becoming abusive towards their parents. They're starting to take control over the household, and they're starting to parent themselves. We need to do a show on that where we can staff.
The things you're talking about, the goal is to inflict pain. The relationship between parent and child should not and does not need to include physical pain. We can talk to them and explain to them what we need to explain to them. But if you need pain to get your message across, you are not doing effective parenting. As a parent, I know sometimes you tell the child to do something and they don't do it. And that happens. And that's fine. You gotta talk about it, but like that happens. You can't just teach them every time that they don't do what you're telling them. It's not a game. It's not parenting. This is what the slave masters taught us, that this sort of violence will make you behave. And we keep doing it.
Now you saw that, right? Apparently this tension between Touré and Dr. Cheyenne Bryant has been building up for a while now. And it culminated to this right here, which we are going to get into. Again, fair use of Truth Talks Live. You are not a doctor. Touré clashes with Dr. Cheyenne Bryant. Before we get into the reaction, if you haven't done so already, hit the like button. If you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button and the notification bell to further contribute to the channel. Hit the join button down below to become a part of the Working Man Union. Hit that hype button to help me out in the algorithm, please, if you will. And as always, hit the Cash App, $, Mr. Normie. So let's listen to the levels of disrespect that Dr. Cheyenne Bryant is about to inflict on Touré.
I said it earlier. I said it's circumstantial. I think that if a parent is neglecting their child of what's needed for them to be mentally stable and healthy and be in a state of mind where they can actually, operate as a citizen who isn't impaired, then I think that that parent who's providing those resources, should not be have consequence or discipline. But again, if you're neglecting your child in any manner, I think there should be consequences to a parent, no matter what, if there's neglect at the hands of a child. But y'all know how I feel. I feel gentle parenting makes for a child. I think that there are rules and there's structure, and there's a thing called boundaries.
Now, remember, everyone, if you don't know this, Dr. Cheyenne Bryant has never been married. She also does not have any children that we know of, okay? She's saying that she believes that gentle parenting is better overall to help kids to foster, a good adult, all right? Touré is saying, well, no. Dr. Cheyenne Bryant says gentle parenting does not work there. There needs to be some sort of physical discipline, not to the level of abuse per se, but she does believe that, maybe a little spanking on the butt, maybe a hand slap or something like that, or at least while they're little children, would foster some type of discipline. I will leave you, the commenter, the viewer, to figure out if you like corporal punishment or not. Touré is arguing that, well, that came from the slave master, the whole thing about pain and discipline, right? He doesn't like that. Two opposite ends of the spectrum. You be the judge.
And boundaries have been proven to create healthy relationships, not just between people, but for that person within themselves. And if we raise kids with no boundaries and no structure and discipline, they go out into the world and they don't understand that. And they end up being in battles, and they end up actually having a lot of issues with law enforcement. They end up being the child that's disruptive in school and class because they don't understand that the world doesn't revolve around them. There's a big world that they are able to participate in, but they cannot be the center of attention to everything. And so I'll end on saying that what I do agree with is that every child is different, and that every child may not necessarily need the same level of discipline, but every child does need structure and discipline in order for that child to grow up and be an adult who understands that this is the law of the land. This is how life works. And successful people, not just only externally, but internally, what they do carry at the nucleus of who they are.
She is very long-winded. Get to the point, yo.
Ain't no fucking way.
As my best friend says, land the plane. Hurry up.
Is discipline and boundaries.
Discipline and boundaries. Remember, she said that in the last video. Discipline and boundaries.
Gentle parenting creates gentle children. Sign me up. I definitely want to create more gentle adults, especially men. Hold on, Ariva. Especially men.
You are a
My
gentle.
God,
You are
are you
a
kidding?
very.
Hold on, guys. Hold on, guys. Hold on, guys. That's what we need in the.
Now, do you see how she is talking over Touré? He's trying to get his point across, and I guess eventually he'll be the last person to speak before he closes the show. She is steady talking because, again, that she just, this difference of opinion, this difference of ideas, she just won't let him
world is more gentle men who understand.
You're very gentle, and it comes at an angle that doesn't always work for people.
Now, this is where it's going, the tension's about to boil over because, again, you see, every time he says something, she has to, cut him off or talk over him with her point or her opinion. He has got very frustrated with it. Now he's about to go off, but she's going to really go off.
Let's just stop and go back because I'm wrapping the show and you're interrupting me.
First of all,
this is what we spent a whole meeting on this.
First of all, Touré.
Why don't you let me wrap the show? I'm ending the show.
Now, he's frustrated, but has he called out her name? Has he cursed her out? No. Is he voicing his frustration right now? Is he putting her on the spot? Yes. There was a way to handle this, and in my opinion, and in a lot of opinions I've seen across social media, the way Dr. Cheyenne Bryant did not only was very unprofessional and improper, not to say he wasn't also unprofessional, but the way she did it was over the top, and it showed her true colors as a person.
What is the point of interrupting me?
First of all,
we're getting out of here. Like, what is the point? What is the point? It says go to host up.
Voice when you're talking to me. Lower your fucking voice when you're talking to me because you're acting very, very gentle, very soft, and very feminine. And this is the problem. Touré, you talk to your wife like that. You don't talk to me like that. I am not your wife. You don't talk to me like that. I'm not your wife, gentle. I'm not your wife, softy. Don't talk to me like that. You talk to your wife like that, not me. Touré, talk to your wife like that. Do not talk to me like that. That is not how you professionally approach me. Don't fucking talk to me like that.
Now they say in there that Touré was not muted, but you see him talking and you're not hearing anything. So I don't know, maybe there's some kind of audio problem or something, but they said down there in that pinned comment that his mic wasn't muted. I don't know if that's true. They said that Dr. Cheyenne Bryant, her mic was muted, but you hear her talking the whole time. So I call cap on that one.
Check.
Frank and Ariva, I apologize.
Okay, I guess she got muted at the end right before the executive producer came in, but I mean, at that point, she's already got her shit off.
Check yourself. You don't talk to me like that.
Hold on,
talk to your
Doc.
wife like that.
Doc, hold on.
Shut the fuck up talking to me like that. That's what.
And then at the end, she had to shut the F up on the back of it. Man, come on, y'all. I mean, you already shut him down. You already completely shut him down. And now at the end, you want to stick your chest out and say, shut the F up. I mean, she she's trying to assert her dominance here in every way, and I think it's despicable.
What you do. That's what you do. You better tap into your gentleness and real quick.
We ready?
I've been ready. Been ready.
Ariba, Frank, you guys ready?
Yep.
Yep. You ready, Touré, to wrap this up?
Yes, as I was doing.
And then we'll speak off camera. Here we go.
We always ask, when should a parent be held responsible for their children's behavior, whether it's at school, tantrum in Walmart, whatever? Let's flip the lens. There's a difference between the parent mourning a child lost to violence and the one silently praying because their child pulled the trigger. One gets sympathy, the other gets silence, but both carry a pain the world rarely understands. So tonight, the part we never talk about, ask yourself, not as a spectator, but as a parent of a child who took a life, how should society treat that parent? Should the law hold them accountable or let them live with the weight in silence? Would you deserve compassion or a conviction or a bunch of I told you so's? It's a tough one, but that's what we do on Truth Talks. Hit us in the comments and let us know how you feel. That's all we have for tonight. Thank you for Bring the Funk family for welcoming the Truth Tellers to the channel. This is our last week on Roland Martin Unfiltered. To continue to see the show and support Black media, subscribe to our YouTube channel at Truth Talks Live, where you can catch us every night at 8 p.m. EST and at 11 p.m. EST. Support Black media at Cashapp's Truth Talks Live or on any of the links on your screen. Get your Truth Talks membership today. Click here on the screen and you can choose from 3 different exciting tiers. Black media is under attack and this show is being shadow banned. So support us by telling a friend to tell a friend to check us out every night at 8 p.m. See you next time on our channel.
Good night, y'all.
I hope y'all still here. If you're still here, thank you. Man, you know what? Nah, man. Again, Touré got upset. You even heard him talking. You heard him saying, like, you know, we rehearsed this. He was reading off part of the script that they're all supposed to go by for the show. So Dr. Cheyenne Bryant, in my opinion, if we're looking at all parties involved, Touré and Cheyenne Bryant, she was getting long-winded. He was trying to close the show out. There was a script that they rehearsed. There was a timeline they rehearsed. She was supposed to shut up and let Touré finish with his ending monologue and I guess he had the closing opinion. She did not allow him to do that. She kept over talking, which she'd been doing that the entire show or the entire segment that we watched, because I don't have the full clip. But as you can see from the short that I played, they've been having problems. So now she barely kind of almost curses him out and overtalks him. Even in their dispute, she overtalks him and pretty much dominates the argument. So in my opinion, that is an insight into the arrogance and the personality of Dr. Cheyenne Bryant, who she really is at her core. I could be wrong. That's just my opinion. And with that being said, thank you for attending another episode of the Working Man Podcast. I am your host, Nicholas J. Fury. Let me know what you think about this interaction between Touré and Dr. Cheyenne Bryant. Whose side are you on, Touré or Dr. Cheyenne Bryant? Let me know down in the comment section. And please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and the notification bell. We're out of the door, and I will see you on the next video.